Welcome back, everyone. We are here at it once again. Welcome to Our Way Podcast. I'm Shell.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are a mother-daughter duo talking about our life and things that go on in our life on a daily basis. Certain topics, certain subjects. Today we're discussing drugs and alcohol and our personal experiences with those things. Our family's experiences with those things. We won't make it too deep, but we'll have a conversation. Let's talk about it.
I'm a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva.
You want me to go first? Mm-hmm. Okay. So my first interaction with drugs or alcohol or anything like that, I remember I was a kid. I know it's going to sound crazy, but wait for it. I remember my first interaction was maybe 5 or 6. You know, back in the day, you know how the older people used to say, they would light their cigarette on the stove. And so one of my cousin's friends was like, go light this cigarette. And I'm like, maybe 6, I think. I don't even know if I was that old. But I went and I put the cigarette in my mouth, went to the gas stove, and lit my cigarette. Well, her cigarette. It wasn't my cigarette. Her cigarette. And, thought I was going to cough my lungs up. But that was the day I decided, won't be smoking a cigarette. Never tried a cigarette ever again in life. Never tried it again. Then my next experience was baby powder. Now you're like, baby powder? What in the world was you doing with baby powder? Well, I have certain people in my family who have had, some challenges with substances, drugs, and alcohol, and I saw some adults sniff some white powder. I thought it was baby powder because I was a kid. I probably had been maybe 6-ish, maybe 7, not sure the exact age. Me and one of my cousins, we went into the bedroom, we found some baby powder, and we put it on the counter. We had a card, and we chop, and then we lined it. When I say that was the worst pain in my life, Jesus, sniffing baby powder, kids watching this, do not do that. And we will put a notice on this video. Children, do not do that. Do not.
We do not condone
any
drug abuse, alcohol abuse,
none of that. So, I never tried that again. Never did any drugs. So then, let's see. What was my next experience? 17. See how far I got? 17. My friends were weed smokers. Let's be real about it. They smoked a lot of weed. A lot of marijuana. A lot of it. I personally did not. Wasn't my thing. So, I was like, I'm 17. I'm going to try some weed. So, we're at my friend's house in her bedroom. Everybody's getting high. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try weed now. Girl, I wound up at the hospital over some weed. Now, mind you, the weed wasn't laced. We knew who the weed had come from. We knew we were safe. It was nothing like that. My body just had a negative reaction to the weed. So my friends are panicking. They like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? One of my friends said, I was like, just call my mom. Just call my mom. One of my friends said, if your mom is coming, I'm leaving. When I said she got in her car and left because they didn't want to deal with my mom, oh goodness. So we called my mom. She came to the house. She was like, well, what happened? She was like, they was like, well, we were smoking weed and I don't know, something happened. My mama took me to the hospital. The doctor came in. My mom knew the doctor because she worked at that hospital. So the doctor came in and was like, what did you take? Was it acid? Was it mushrooms? Was it this? Was it that? He started all this crazy stuff. And I was like, no, it was marijuana. He was like, don't ever smoke again. Don't ever smoke weed again. Don't smoke no marijuana ever again in life. So those small experiences told me that drugs just wasn't for me. I learned quick. Like, I wasn't that person who was like, oh, let me try again. No, I just learned quick. Any experiences with alcohol? I don't think I had experiences with alcohol until my teenage years. I just thought it was the most disgusting, nasty thing ever. It just tastes gross. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. When I was coming up, Boone's Farm was very popular. So that tells you that I grew up in the 90s. Snacks for 90s. Partied my tail off, but with no drugs and no alcohol. But my friends did it. So I was always that girl who was making sure they were good. You know, I always made sure they weren't taken advantage of. And because you want to live your teenage lives, your young adult life. You want to live it to the fullest. But I wanted to make sure that we were always okay and we were good. So drinking and drugs and alcohol just wasn't my thing. It just wasn't for me. I remember I was maybe 25 again. We went to this outdoor concert, me and my older stepsister. It was a bunch of us, tried to smoke again. I kept asking her, are you high? She kept asking me, are you high? We kept asking each other, were we high? Because we didn't know what high felt like. I don't think we was high. We never got high. I don't know what kind of weed that was, but we never got high, I feel like. Because we kept asking each other, were they? Or maybe we were high, and maybe that's why we was asking, were we high? I don't know. But those are my little situations with drugs and alcohol. It just wasn't my thing. And right to this day, I don't drink at all now. My version of a glass of wine is not what I've learned. Everybody's version of a glass of wine. So my version is maybe that much wine, and somebody else is maybe a whole cup. So we're gonna go to her and see what her thoughts are.
I'm thinking. Don't interrupt me.
What are we thinking about?
My first interaction.
You gotta think about it.
I think my first interaction was I want to say 15. No, I'm not being honest. It was 16. Yeah, it was 16. It was my friend's birthday, her 16th birthday, so I was turning 17, she was turning 16. For one, she had a party bus, and we had, we were having a good time, all that stuff. We went a few places. Don't even remember what we did fully, to be honest. And then we went back to her grandmother's house. We spent the whole weekend there, me and a bunch of other girls. And her cousin, her grandma, y'all, she was older, but she was, asleep. And so her cousin, he was super overprotective of us, but he still, wanted us to have a good time. And so if I'm not mistaken, I think he bought us some Ciroc. I think that's what it was.
See, that's why you can't trust your kids with other folks.
And we drank that, but I don't remember being drunk or lit, so we must not have had that much. Okay. The next time, and I want to be very specific, I was in college. I had not received a college degree. I want to be very specific. I was just in college, okay? I had never smoked or anything like that, and so my best friend at the time was like, come on, let's try that. She hotboxed me at the end of the day. That's what happened. She hotboxed me. I called Mom, I think I'm a little high. She hotboxed me.
What's hotboxing?
Kids, if you watch, I need you. It's stage left. I'm gonna give you some time. Okay. It's when you in a car with the windows rolled up and you smoking weed or a bong or where there's nowhere for the weed to go.
No ventilation.
Right.
Mm.
And so that was another time. But now I'm an adult, so my next time, not with any recreational drugs.
So you've never had experience with like cocaine or heroin or what is it, ecstasy, Molly? You haven't had any experiences with any of those things?
No.
Got it.
So once I turned 21, I'm gonna be very clear again, and I'm doing this for a reason, y'all. Be very clear. I do not ever put myself or others in danger when I drink. I am always safe, or I do not drive. Okay? Be very clear about that. Now, I'm just gonna be honest. I got a stressful job. Life is stressful majority of the time. So on Friday and Saturday, do I have my best life and best time? I do.
So what does that consist of?
I may have a few drinks.
What's your drink of choice?
See, they ain't done it.
Oh, they don't even know that? I thought people was know that. So they don't even know that.
I typically like the browner things.
Got it.
In life.
Okay.
And
what's your tolerance for alcohol?
well, that's what I'm getting to.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I don't. Again, I don't ever put myself or others in danger. I want to be clear about that.
Okay, bump all these disclosures.
I don't think I have tolerance. I'm just gonna be honest, because I can just drink, and nothing happens. And I love that for me. There was a time I had 11 shots, and it was fine. And I love that for me.
Interesting.
Now, don't get me wrong, I know if I was to give like blood or do a breathalyzer, yeah, it's probably gonna go high. I don't know. But I could pass a regular sobriety test as far as walking a straight line and all that stuff. I'd be fully coherent. I don't know. I think I've been like that for a long time.
Well, you and I have had multiple conversations about drinking.
Yes.
And it's very concerning for me as a mom. Right? Or not?
Concerning because you're a mom and I drink. Not concerning because I have a problem, correct?
Well, you didn't let me finish.
Okay.
Not because you have a problem, but because I'm not a drinker. So I'm going to always be concerned when my child is drinking alcohol. Because...
Excuse our fur baby.
I was about to say, that's our little doggy. He's upset right now. Yeah, it's always a little concerning when your child goes out and drink and then they state that they don't have a low threshold for alcohol, that the threshold for alcohol is like really doesn't exist. So it does make me a little nervous, but at the end of the day, I have to trust her judgment and trust that she's making the best decisions for herself and doing things safely and with friends that will look out. They're looking out for one another and making good choices and decisions for one another. But we do have a history of, alcohol abuse and other drug issues in our family, but you just don't want it to knock on your door. So I'm glad that you and your friends make good decisions when you guys are going out and having fun. Because I do want you to live a fulfilled young adult life. Because you're at your mid-20s. And so you don't want to look back at things and say, well, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do that. I don't have those regrets because I just learned early that drinking and drugs and all that stuff just wasn't my thing. It just wasn't for me. But as a mom, you're going to always worry, and you're going to always have those concerns. I mean, you have those concerns just when you know your child is outside late at night. You have those concerns and you worry. My husband and I had a conversation with some parents, with a neighbor up the street, And he was saying his dad had told him that he worried more when they got older than kids. And that's true. I worry more about you as an adult than I did when you were a teenager. Because when you become an adult, you have no control over any decision. You become a suggestive parent, not a demanding parent, because you have no right to demand because your child is an adult. And they make their own decisions. So yeah, it's worrisome. And it's challenging, but at the end of the day, you just have to trust in your parenting and your raising and know that you're going to make whatever decision that you feel is best for yourself in the moment.
Well, I have a good time.
Oh, we know, sister.
And my friends, they always, we look out for each other. I have one friend, her tolerance is very low, y'all.
That would be me.
And so she knows her limit. She never, goes past her limit. And so we look out for each other. And yeah. That's it. So y'all let us know in the comments if y'all have any similar stories or what y'all do or have done.
I do have something. And if you are a mom and you drink with your kids or your kids and their friends, let me know about that, because I found that hard. That wasn't easy for me to allow her to have a drink under my roof. That wasn't easy once she became 21. I didn't do well with that at first. So let me know how you all handle those situations, because now I'm a little better, but I still don't prefer it. I'm a little better. But let me know how you all manage that as moms or dads having drinks with your kids. Let me know how that works out.
Well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And when you see us, don't forget to say,
hey girl, hey.
I'm a diva. I'm a